will be question number 24. So what is the answer? So all of you right? What is the answer? Any response? Okay, so this is a slightly tricky one question. The main point is in the question that in an examination, Raman scored 280 marks, fell short of qualifying marks by 10% of total marks. So one important point is, this is the total marks, okay? So the base of this percentage, 10%, is total. In the second one, it says if he had scored 396 marks, his score would have been 10% more than the qualifying marks. Right. So the two bases are different. That's why this becomes a tricky question. Otherwise, the question was easy. The total, the two percentages would have been on the same basis. For this question, if I assume the qualifying marks is equal to x, let's say. Okay. So in the first one, he got 280 marks. Sorry, he got 280 marks, and the qualifying marks were x. So the shortage is of x minus 280. So here the shortage of x minus 280, which is equal to 10% of total marks. Right? In the first one is this. In the second one, he got 10% more marks than qualifying marks. So qualifying marks is x. 10% more than this is nothing but 1.1 of x, which to 396. If you solve it, this will give you x as 360, which is the qualifying marks. If you put it here, you will get total as 360 minus 280 is 80. So 10% of total is 280. That means total was 800. Right, and the rest everything can be solved now. He is asking what is the percentage of total marks for the qualifying marks. So in this one, this is the qualifying marks, this is the total marks. So the percentage can be calculated that this upon 800 into 100. That gives you your answer. So do you have any doubt in this? All of you clear with this? If any doubt, please ask. So I guess no, right? So let's move on to the next question then. Once again, if I come back to the question, if instead of qualifying marks, it should be written, it has written that total marks. So the basis of the two percentages become same. In that case, the simple answer would be the difference of these percentages is 20%, right? And the difference in the marks is 116. So you can straight away say that 20% of the total marks will be 116. That gives you total marks as 5 times of 116, which is nothing but 16550, right? Dinesh is okay. Okay, Dinesh. I'll try this. So are we clear with the second approach? Second question. The second question would have been easy. 20% of total will be equal to 1 by 116. Total is nothing but 116 into 1 into 5 times will give you the answer, right? Okay. Second is a slightly tough question. LCM of two positive integer a and 24 is 30 times of their HCF. So one number is A, one number is 24. Their LCM is 30 times of HCF. So if I assume the HCF is X, for example, so LCM would have been 30 into X. Clear with this part, right? Okay. Now we know the property that first number into second number will be equal to the product of their HCF and LCM. So we can simply say that A into 24 will be equal to 30 into X square HCF into LCM. Right. This gives you 4 by 5 of A will be equal to X square. Are we clear with this part? Right. So if I go over the options now, first option say A is equal to 80. So one number is 80, one number is 24. So if I put 80 here, you will get X as 8. Okay. So which is clear, I guess, because 8 is the HCF of 80 and 24, so that's not a problem. The question asks for cannot be the value of A. If I put the second option B, which is A as 180, gives you X as 12. So again, this is also possible because HCF of 180 and 24 can be 12, right? Now if I say the third option, which says A equal to 405, this gives you X as 405 is first, this gives you X as 81 into 4, that is 18. So I am getting X as an integer, right? But the problem is HCF of 405 and 24 cannot be 18 because 405 is an odd number, and although 24 is not a multiple of, so this option will be ruled out. Okay, so my right answer will be C. A and B are possible, C is not possible. The answer is C. Some of you must have this answer wrong, you must have marked B. Why? Because you have just checked that X has to be integer, which is coming in all the three cases. You had not checked the last part, that 18 should be HCF of 405 and 24. Right, that has to be satisfied also. Clear with this part? All of you clear? Okay, let's move on to next now. This was an easy question, 26th, I guess. The age of the Raj was then age of Guddu in 2008. That means straight away I can say R is equal to G plus 2. Secondly, it says Raju, Guddu and Sanjay's average age is equal to 1 year more than Raju in that year. So that gives you R plus G plus S upon 3, which is the average, will be equal to R plus 1. And thirdly, he says Sanjay's age is 34 years. So S is nothing but 34. So this gives you 3 equation, 3 variable. You can easily solve it and you'll get the answer. The only thing is that this data is for 2011. Right. And he's asking for the Guddu's age in 2012. So you have to mark, you have to add 1 in your answer. That will give the answer. Done, all of you? Please ask if you have any doubt in this. This year 2008 is of no significance here. At any given year, Raju will be 2 years more than Guddu only, whether it is 8, 9, 10, 11, any year. Okay. Okay, so no doubt, I guess. Next, moving on. 27, any doubt? Should I discuss it? This simply gives you cost price and selling price of one article. You can straight away find the percentages, profit percentage, profit of, cost price of 13 article is equal to 195. That means cost price is nothing but 15 rupees. This gives you selling price of 12 article is 198. This gives you selling price of one article is nothing but 16. Sorry, not 16. How much will come out to be? 16.5. Right. So you got cost price, you got selling price. You can easily find the profit percentage. How can we assume that all are similar? Which are similar? Vivek, which question you are talking about? Yeah, so what are similar? Articles. Article has to be same. If I say cost price of 13 article is 195, and the selling price of 12 articles is equal to 198, so article has to be same. There is no point of different articles here, right? Okay. Vinod is saying, can you go back to the previous question? Which question you are talking about? 26? Vinod, this question. No response. Okay. Then next quant or AR question will be This is again a good question, tricky one. PQRS are the members of a family in which of them always speak the truth. When they are asked about the relationship, following are the replies. And we know that exactly 2 people out of PQRS always speak the truth, right? Exactly 2 of them always speak the truth. Now listen, in every these type of question, in this one it is given that 2 of them speak the truth. It can be only one of them speak the truth. It can be like this, all 3 of them will speak the truth, right? So the idea is always we have to, one of the question would have been always that which of the following, who are the people who speak the truth or telling a lie and so on and forth, right? It's always better to check the options if such questions are there. Otherwise what will happen, that you have to make 6 cases. For example, in this one 4 members are there, So I have to take 6 cases. The two people who are speaking the truth can be P and Q, can be P and R, can be P and S, can be Q and R, can be Q and S, and can be R and S. So you have to take 6 cases and then solve it. Some of them will look okay, some will, and others will not okay, will go okay. So you can get multiple answers also, but generally it will not happen in your cases, right? So if I just see the first option, which is the following two members of family always speak the truth? That's the same question we are talking about, right? So first option is P and Q. Now see the statements of P and Q. Can these two statements simultaneously be right? P is saying Q is my husband, Q is saying P is my husband. So both of them simultaneously cannot speak the truth. Am I right? Because they are saying contradictory things, right? That means first cannot be my answer, right? Now see, Q says P is my husband, R says P is my mother-in-law. Again contradiction, because husband has to be male, mother-in-law has to be female. So a same person cannot be male and female simultaneously. So Q and R cannot speak the truth. Second option also ruled out. Third says Q and S. Q says P is my husband, R is my son. S says R is my husband, P is my father-in-law. So there is no contradiction looks here, right? So this can be true. Just check the fourth again. P and R. P says Q is my husband, and R says Q is my daughter. So again contradiction, because here it is the male, here Q is female. That means fourth is also ruled out. So the only option left is Q and S. Am I clear? So definitely I can say that speaking the truth, while P and R are not speaking the truth, right? Clear with this? So if Q and S are speaking the truth, I can simply take their statements as positive one. So Q says P is my husband. That gives you that P and Q are husband and wife. And P is a husband, that means it's a male, and Q is a female, right? And S saying R is my husband. Sorry, one of the also there. P is my husband and R is my son. So Q is saying that R is my son. That means it looks like this. Then S is saying that R is my husband. That means R's wife is S. And P is my father-in-law, which is also looks good, okay here. So can I say this diagram is right according to Q and S speaking the truth? This gives you some family diagram. So the rest two questions can be solved on based on this. C 39. Which of the following statement is true? P is male, R is female. So here P is male and R is also male. So first is ruled out. And B is the right answer. P and R both are male, which is clearly written there. 39 is B. 40th saying, which of the following statement must be false? First says, R's wife always speak the truth. See this. Who is R's wife? S. And S always speak the truth? Yes. That means first statement is right. Okay. But he is asking for the false statement. Second says, P's wife always speak the truth. Who is P's wife? Q. Again, Q is also speak the truth, so this is also right. Cannot be my answer. Third says, S mother-in-law always speak the truth. S mother-in-law. S mother-in-law is Q again. And she speak the truth, obviously. So third is also right. Fourth it says, Q's son always speak the truth. Who is Q's son? Q's son is R. But R is not speaking the truth. So that means fourth statement is my answer because it is false. Is it okay now, Kavita? Anybody has set it out in 39, 40, 38? Okay. So this is some good questions in this mock. Right. Again a good question of AR. 6 friends L, M, N, O, P, Q, R are sitting around a rectangular table facing the center such that 2 friends are seated along each of the longer side and 1 is seated each along the shorter side. Okay, so there is a rectangular table. Right. And 2 sitting on the longer side, 2 on the shorter side, 1 on the shorter side, sorry. So it will be like this. Okay. Right. So first of all, is saying that the first information is M is sitting diagonally opposite to L. Now the only 2 diagonally opposite points are either this or this. Do we clear with this part? These are the only 2 positions which we can say are diagonally opposite. Yes or no? So I guess no doubt in this one. So diagonally opposite, M and L are sitting diagonally opposite, right? So that means there can be 2 possibilities, M here and L here, or M here and L here. Yes or no? Apart from these 2 possibilities, there is no third possibility or fourth possibility can be arrived. Either is this way or in this way. Okay. Second says only R is sitting between M and Q. Now this gives you again lots of possibilities. So we'll first check the third statement. Third is saying P is sitting opposite to M. So P is sitting opposite to M. That means either it will be here, and in this case it will be here. Alright. Now comes to the second part. Only R is sitting between M and Q. So only R is sitting between M and Q. That means R has to be here in this case, and Q has to be here. And in this case, Q has to be here, and R be here. And the only person left is N, which comes in the opposite of Q. So we have 2 possible cases here. So my answers could vary, right? Okay, now see the questions. Who is sitting opposite to N? So which is very much clear. N के opposite में Q बैठा है. That means my answer is A option. ठीक है? Okay. 42nd. Who are the 2 friends sitting along one of the longer sides of the table? This is again clear, I guess. The one couple is R and M, and the other is L and P. So M and R is in the option. This is also right. Right. 43rd. Which statement is definitely true? Okay. M is sitting to the immediately right of N. Here it looks okay. No, sorry. M is sitting immediately right of N. Right. So in this diagram it is right, but in this diagram it is wrong because M is sitting to the left of N, not right. See, in any ways, when we have 2 arrangements which are just opposite, one is clockwise and other is anti-clockwise, none statement which gives you that this is right of this is left of this can be true. all such statements will definitely false. If somebody is saying M in right of N and N in right of M, all will be false. Vivek is asking why M and L can't sit along shorter side. How can they? We already make the diagram. In the shortest side, you cannot sit diagonally opposite. These are opposite only. In the first one, it says M is diagonally opposite to L. So this position cannot be diagonally opposite to any position. So I cannot put M and L on the shorter side. Is it clear, Vivek? Shorter side opposite ही होंगी. Okay, right. That is clear. Who is this person? Manas, why are you so late for asking this question? 27 is way back done. You are not there, but you are late for asking the question. We'll get to this later. Right. So what I was saying is, your question was seen. I asked. I just cleared this point to you that please write on the chat box, not in the question and answer, right? So I can clearly see in the chat box, but question and answer somehow will be mismatched. So Manas, next time please just write your query in the chat box, not in the question and answer, right? So Manas will come back to this later, right? Okay, there is no problem. So what I am saying is, no statement which gives you right or left of this person can be right. That means these two statements has to be false only. Okay. Now third is saying L is sitting between P and Q. So L is sitting between P and Q looks okay in both the positions. Okay. So this is the right answer. So are we clear with these three parts? 41, 42, 43? Right. "44 is, I guess, very easy question. So you must have done it. The simple question is copper, zinc and nickel are in the ratio 4, 6:5:4. Cobalt is mixed 250 grams in the same alloy. Percentage of zinc in the new one will be what? So in the initial one, zinc is what? Zinc is the second part, right? Which is 5. So it is 5 out of 15 into 1350. Now the quantity of zinc will not change, but the total which changed to 1350 plus into 100 will be the answer. Clear? So that's very easy question again. "45. From a point P, Avinash walks 30 meters towards north. So 30 meters towards north. Then moves, turn left. Left means in this direction. Walks 20. So here it is 30. Here it is 20. And they again turn left and walk 10. So this is 10. And then again left and walk 50. Now see, 50 means this 20 plus 30. राइट क्लियर? सो ये आपका 20 था, दिस वाज 10, ये पूरा 50 बनेगा, इसका मतलब ये आपका 20 हो जाएगा एंड दिस पार्ट विल बी 30. ये 30 आपका ऊपर तक है. Okay, walks 50 and then finally takes a right turn and walks 20. So again he takes a right turn, that means in this direction, south. 20 means he will be collinear with this point now, because the 10, so this is 20, that means ये दोनों points आपके एक लाइन में आ जाएंगे. So the question is simple, that this is 30, nothing less. So how far in which direction is P from Q? So this was P and this was Q. So distance is 30 and the direction is west. So the answer is A only. Done? Easy question. Right, left. '46 is again a good question. Babu Bhai walks 40 meters towards south. 40 meters towards south. Takes a right turn and walks 30. And he sees Kabira standing 20 meters away from him. Let's say this is the point where Kabira is standing, and this is 20 meters from this point. So he got afraid and he turned back and walks 40 meters. 40 means just back to 30 plus 10, and then takes a left turn and walks 40. So it will be right here, and then again takes a left turn and walks 30. So it will be like this. Okay, so in this one, this is 10, this is 10, and this is 20. Okay, so now this is Kabira, this is Babu Bhai. He's asking for, first of all, the distance between the two. So you can simply make a triangle here. So this is 20 plus this is 10, this is nothing but 30. This is nothing but 40. So you can straight away use the Pythagoras theorem, 3, 4, 5 triplet. So distance is 50 first of all. And what is asking, how far is Babu Bhai now from Kabira, and in which direction with respect to his initial point? Who is asking for this? The concerned person is Babu Bhai. So Babu Bhai is 50 meters from Kabira, and Babu Bhai is to the west of his initial position. So my answer is A only. Distance is 50 and the direction is west for Babu Bhai. Clear all of you? Okay, let's move on to the next question then. This is a very easy question. Let's see. Some of you must have doubt in first, second, or third, let's say. So there are three types of employees: P1, P2, P3. The employee rate is 235 for temporary. So this is 2. This is and this is 5. And for permanent employee it is 1, 2, and 4. So 1, 2, and 4. In the question of P1, P2, P3 and temporary and permanent. So column add करने पड़ेंगे, rows add करनी पड़ेंगी. That's the only thing you need to do. So this is nothing but 600. This is 250 only. This is 600. This is 360. This is 700. And this is 880. So if you add P1, which gives you 850, this gives P2, which gives you 960. This gives you 1580. If you need to find temporary total, this gives you 600 plus 700, which is nothing but 1900. Total of permanent will be 360 plus this will give you 0, 8, 6, 14 plus 5, 19, 2, 8, 3, 11, and 3, 14. Right, so what is the question asking now? What was the total wages earned by permanent employees in producing all the 3 projects? So 1490, we can easily calculate it. Which was the cost incurred towards wages of producing P2? So P2 was 960. Which of the following statement is true? Temporary workers were paid more than permanent for all the 3 products. Temporary is more than permanent. Temporary is more than permanent is false statement. It is 900, it is 1490. So first is false. Second, P1 involved more cost towards wages compared to P3. P1 involved more as compared to P3. This is false again. More बोल रहा है, less बोल रहा है. Yeah. Oh no, first one saying so temporary is more than permanent, right? So temporary is that is right, right? 1900 and 1490. First one is right, second is wrong. Only. Done. Okay. Again a good question. Composite number. What are composite numbers? If I talk about prime numbers, all numbers which have exactly 2 factors are prime number, right? So for example, 17 is a prime number because it has only 2 factors, 1 and 17. 19 is a prime number because it has 2 factors, 1 and 19. So one of the factors should be 1 and the other is the number itself. And the composite numbers are those numbers which have more than 2 factors. So 1 will be left out in both the cases because 1 has exactly 1 factors, right? So 1 cannot be prime, 1 cannot be composite. So 1 is neither prime nor composite because 1 has only 1 factors. Okay. So composite number is asking. Composite number has to be multiple of some other number except apart from 1 and the number itself, right? So any of these numbers are a multiple of any other number or not? If yes, then that has to be a composite number, right? So if I check the first number, which is 3 to the power 32 minus 1. So can you tell me 3 to the power 32 minus 1 is divisible by which number? Any answer, please? Man is saying 2. Yes, because 3 to the power 32 is an odd number. 1 is an odd number. Odd minus odd has to be even. An even number has to be multiple of 2 only. So first number is clearly even, which is a composite number in that case. Alright. Second, 2 to the power 35 plus 1. This becomes an odd number. Now you have a doubt. Odd number can be composite, can be prime. So how will we find that whether it's a composite number or not? Any answer for this? For which number it's a multiple of, the second number is a multiple of which number? And tell me by logic, not by the answer key. You must have solved this question. How 1 is even? 3 to the power 32 is an odd number, right? 1 is an odd number. Odd minus odd is always even. Kavita? Second, let's see this. Let's say we have a number like a raised to the power n plus b raised to the power n. Please write down, this number is always a multiple of a plus b if n is odd. A raised to power n plus b raised to power n is always a multiple of a plus b if n is odd. Right. So using this theorem, we can simply say that 2 raised to the power 35 plus 1 raised to the power 35 will be a multiple of 2 plus 1, sorry, which is 3 only. So this number is a multiple of 3. Second is clear. A raised to the power n plus b raised to the power n is always a multiple of a plus b if n is odd. So it has to be multiple of a plus b, 2 plus 1, that is 3. And third is again an odd number plus odd number, which is an even number. So third is also a composite number. So all three are right. Okay, but this question can be solved by shortcut also. Shortcut, or we can say using options. First is very much clear because it's an even number. Third is very much clear because it's an even number, and none of the option talks about first and third only. So the only option left is all three. I do not bother to check second option here for this particular question, for this particular answers. I'll just mark all of three and move on. मुझे ये नहीं सोचना पड़ेगा कि मैं कैसे प्रूव करूं कि सेकंड वाला कंपोजिट नंबर है या नहीं. Okay. But in some of them might be helpful, so we will definitely do this. There are two more formulas here. First, I talked about this one, that a raised to the power n plus b raised to the power n is always a multiple of a plus b if n is odd. Second is a raised to the power n minus b raised to the power n will be multiple of a plus b only if n is even. And the same number, a raised to the power n minus b raised to the power n, is always a multiple of a minus b, whether n is even or n is odd. So these three formulas are there, right, which you can solve. But the point to be remembered is that n has to be, or two number has to be same. Otherwise, we have to simply solve it. We cannot use the formula, right? Dinesh is asking how you are solving 3 raised to the power 32, 2 raised to the power 35, 5. I am not solving it. Odd. 5 raised to the power any number is an odd number, simply. 3 raised to the power any number is an odd number. 2 raised to the power 35 is always even. Right? Dinesh, is it clear? I need not to solve 2 raised to the power 33 raised to the power 32 here. Clear? So let's move on. So which is left now? 54, yes. The average of first 7 terms of an AP whose common difference is 2 lies between 19 and 23. If each term of this progression is an integer, then which of the following cannot be the 8th term of the AP? So, were you able to solve this question? Right, let's discuss it. See, if an AP has an odd number of terms, right, here it is talking about the 7 terms. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So average of 7 terms of an AP, the numbers which are in AP, will always be the 4th term. It's a property of AP. If there is an odd number of terms in AP, the average is always a middle number. So I can say the average of the 7 terms is nothing but the 4th term only. Clear? So my average has to be this. Now nth term can be defined as a plus n minus 1 into d. So 4th term is nothing but a plus 3d. Clear? And it is given that d is 2, so this can be written as a plus 6. And the question says me that this number mean 19 and 23. And asking for which term? 8th term. 8th term is nothing but a plus 7d. A plus 7d is nothing but d की वैल्यू 2 हो जाती है, तो a is plus 14 आ जाता है. तो क्वेश्चन सिंपली पूछ रहा है कि अगर a plus 6 19 और 23 के बीच में है तो a plus 14 कहाँ लाई करेगा. सो a plus 6 से a plus 14 पे आना है तो 8 ऐड करेंगे हम. सो दिस गिव्स यू दैट 27 less than a plus 14 less than 30. So from this I can say that a plus 14, which is the 8th term, lie between 27 and 31. So the possible values can be 28, 29 and 30. Clear? So which of these two is not there? 26 is not there. That is my answer. Right? Do you have a doubt in this one? Anyone? Okay, good. $55. Again a good question. The probability of occurrence of exactly 5 Sundays in the month of where a week does not contain Monday. A week does not contain Monday, that means the number of days in the week has to be 6. Right? So Monday will not be there, except Monday all the days, that means Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday will be there. Right? So March, so there's nothing mentioned about March. So we can simply take the normal March, which is 31 days there, right? Now 31 can be written as 5 into 6 plus 1. Clear? That means 1 week contains 6 days, so there will be 5 weeks. Plus 1 day. In 5 weeks, there must have been 5 Sundays. So 5 Sundays की तो गारंटी है मेरे को, 5 तो होंगे ही होंगे. The remaining day can be any day, right? Can be Sunday, it can be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and so on forth, right? But he's asking for exactly 5 days. That means I can definitely say that this day should not be Sunday. So I need to find a probability. Nothing is visible. You are talking about the writing part, Manas. Okay. The problem is that I forgot the writing pad today. Making a drawing here. Okay. Anyways, I'll just called about this, so it is on the way only. So in 1 or 2 minutes we can definitely do this, right? It has come. Just hold on, right? Thank you. Just hold on for 2 minutes. Okay, now it will look okay. Right. So I am saying that 1 week has 6 days, right? And so March contains 31 days. 31 is nothing but 5 into 6 plus 1, which is nothing but 5 weeks plus 1 day. So in 5 weeks, 5 Sundays will be there. The remaining day can be any day, including Sunday also, right? So and in asking for the probability of exactly 5 days, 5 Sundays, right? So 5 Sundays तो यहीं पर आ जाएंगे आपके. So this day should not be Sunday. मुझे probability निकालनी है कि ये Sunday नहीं होना चाहिए. तो 6 possibilities हैं, उसमें से Sunday के अलावा कुछ भी हो सकता. So 5 by 6 is the answer. Why 6 days is taken? Because he is saying Monday is not there. Monday is not there means only 6 days are there. Out of, and 1 day which is Monday is not there. Right? Are we clear the question? Answer is 5 by 6. Exactly 5 Sundays, right? अगर क्वेश्चन पूछता at least 5 Sundays, what should be the answer? Anybody else can tell me? Manish, what I'm saying is this country does not contain Monday. That means one week contains 6 days, right? 31 days होते हैं मार्च में. $31 days is nothing but 5 into 6 plus 1, which is 5 weeks plus 1 day. 5 weeks में 5 संडे तो पक्के ही आ जाएंगे. जो बचा हुआ दिन है वो संडे हो भी सकता है, नहीं भी सकता है. आपको प्रोबेबिलिटी निकालनी है कि वो संडे नहीं होना चाहिए. सो द टोटल नंबर ऑफ डेज इज 6 एंड नॉट संडे मीन्स 5. सो 5 by 6 विल बी द आंसर. अगर वो पूछता एग्जैक्टली 6 डेज होने चाहिए थे, 6 संडेज, that means 5 Sundays will definitely be there and the remaining has to be Sunday again. So the probability would have been 1 by 6 for 6 Sundays. Right? So now I am asking to you that can anybody answer me that if the question would have been instead of exactly at least 5 Sundays, answer. Anyone please? Manish, Manas, yes, Manas got an answer. Atul got an answer. And the answer is right. The answer is 1 only. At least 5 Sundays. So 5 तो होंगे ही होंगे. So probability has 1 only. Right? So 3 questions can be done. Okay? Should I move on now? Right. 56 again a good question. This mock has some really good questions. X into y square into z cube is 144. 144 can be written as 1 into 2 raised to the power 4 into 3 square. Okay, so I have to represent these numbers in this form. So I can write this as 1 into 3 square, 2 into 3 square into 2 cube gives you x as 2, y as 3 and z as 2 again. Right? Can we turn this? 2 raised to the power 4 into 3 square. Okay. Or we can write this as z cube. So I can take 1 cube from this and other from 1 also. Z can be 1 also. It's 1 cube into 12 square into 1. In this case, x is 1, y is 12 and z is 1. So y into z, here it is 6, here it is 12. Is asking for the maximum possible value. The answer is 12 only. Right? Just observe this point that it is mentioned that x and y are positive integers. It is not saying that x, y, and z are distinct positive integers. It's simply positive. So x and y can be equal. X and z can be equal. Okay. Right. Probability of A would be selected in interview 1 by 3. probability of A selected is 1 by 3. Probability of B selected B rejected is 2. Selection of B is 3 by 5. ये आपका हो गया सिलेक्शन का, एंड रिजेक्शन का हो जाएगा 2 by 3 and 2 by 5. Right? This is for selection, this is for rejection. At least one of the two will be selected. So, अगर दोनों ही select नहीं होंगे, both not selected, का probability क्या हो जाएगा? 2 by 3 into 2 by 5. 1 minus will give you the answer, desired answer. So I guess no doubt is there. Rectangles of distinct dimensions can be constructed using all the matchsticks of 5 mm each. Length does not contribute anything here. I just can assume that there are 40 matchsticks. So if I am arranging, so the perimeter should be equivalent to 40. So twice of L plus B should be 40. That means L plus B should be 20. So there are possibilities like 119, 218, 317, and so on till 1010. In the previous one it is 911. After that, we will not count because it will be the repetition of all these numbers. Again, the total number of cases would have been 10. Atul, which question you are talking about? '58. You are making a rectangle in matchsticks. So using matchsticks, you will make the perimeter, right? Not the area. So perimeter of the rectangle should be equal to 40. Gives you L plus B is equal to 20. There are 10 possibilities. It can be 119, 218, 317, 30, 10, 10, 10. So 10 possible rectangles can be there of distinct dimensions. Please mind that distinct dimension does not mean that length and breadth has to be distinct, right? Right? Done. Use of length means, Kavita, what are you asking? Use of length, it's a question. Why? What is given? Length. Oh, length is of no significance actually. If the length would have been 10 mm or 2 mm or 1 mm, how does it make a difference? It's just for the confusion. You cannot break the matchsticks, right? Okay. Number of polygons in number of polygon is nothing but n into n minus 3 upon 2 if n is the number of sides or vertices. So here it is written that n into n minus 3 upon 2 is given as 27. Just put the values, get your answers. N is nothing but 9. or if you, some of you is P and C, if there are n points in a line, so total number of lines can be NC2. Out of these NC2, n will be the sides, so remaining will be the number of diagonals, which is given as 27. So you solve this or you solve this, you will get the answer. Okay. This is again a good question. Rohan can complete 5/4 of the work in 6 days. So that means Rohan can do one work in 6 into 5/4 days, and Rahul can complete the same work in 9 days. Ratio of efficiency is the inverse ratio of time. So the answer is 9 ratio 6 into 5/4, which gives you 6:5. In this question it says Rahul does the same work. It does not mean 4/5 work. Manish, if it would have been written Rahul can complete the same in 9 days, then you are right. Rohan is saying 4/5 of a work, and he is saying the same work, complete work. Okay, that's the difference. Rohan can complete 4/5 work in 6 days, so complete work can be done in 6 into 5/4. That is clear, I guess. Kavita is clear. And then Rahul can complete in this. Efficiency is just inversely proportional to the number of days required to finish the work. So the ratio of efficiency will be reversed. 9 is to 6 into 5/4. Gives you 6 into 5. Clear now? It would have been written that the same in 9 days, then the answer would be 3:2. In that case, it will be 4/5 of the work only. So I'll just take the ratio of the 9 and 6 in that case. I guess it is clear now, right? Any doubt in 61? Anyone? It's a very easy question, so I guess this must have been done. If you have any doubt, I'll discuss it, otherwise I'll skip this. No. Okay. 62 is same. Again, same logic there. 63 should have been discussed. Experiment exactly one of the 3 events, name ABC, heterometric time, the odds against happening of A is to B is 8:5 and 6:7 respectively. Always see this. If I say odds in favor of A is A is to B. So odds in favor always represent probability of happening the event ratio probability of not happening the event. And vice versa, odds against is nothing but probability of not happening ratio probability of happening. Right? So using first, I can say probability of happening is A upon A plus B, and probability of not happening is B upon A plus B. And here it is reverse. Not happening is A upon B and happening is B upon A plus B. So it is that probability of against, odds against A is 8/5. That means not happening की probability हो जाएगी 8/13. Probability of A not happening is 8/13. So probability of happening A is 5 by 13. Similarly, probability of not happening B is 6 by 13. So probability of happening B is 7 by 13. And he's saying that exact of these three events will happen, right? That means their summation of the probability would have been 1. So probability of happening C is nothing but 1 minus 5 by 13 minus 7 by 13 is 1 by 13. So probability of happening is 1 by 13, not happening is 12 by 13, ratio against will be this ratio, this is nothing but 12:1. Clear all of you? 60th. Fine. So I guess maths part is finished. We'll come to LR part now and then move to RC. Right, question number 15. To fund a project, one must have gold. To fund a project, one must have gold. Clear? All funded projects are silver. So it will be like this. It can be like this also. Okay. Then it's saying some brass is tin, no brass is gold. Some brass is tin, no brass is gold. So there is nothing common between this and this. Now see the conclusion. Some silver is not gold. Some silver is not gold looks okay here, but is false here. So that is false. He says some funded projects are silver. Some funded projects are silver. It's clearly right here. Second is, third says some gold is not brass. Some gold is not brass. Is again a valid statement, and is asking for not a valid conclusion. So my right answer is A. Dinesh, it is clear now? Okay. 16 any doubt? No. 17th. 17th, 18th, any doubt? 19th. 19th से पहले doubt नहीं है ना? Okay. Let's see 19. Only human can create metal. Only A is B. Only A is B means all B are A. Okay. So only human can get metals like this. right? Some human who get metal are people. So some human who get metal are people. All people who get metal are assertive. So this part, all people who get metal are assertive. Clear? This is the diagram. Now see this conclusions. All human metal are assertive. All human who get metal are assertive is wrong. Some human who get metal are assertive. This is right. He's talking about this part only. A and B should be overlapping. Why? A is saying all humans who get metal are assertive. Manish, A and B should be overlapping. Why? You are talking about the conclusion, right? When we say only human can get metal, so that means all metals should be inside human. Explanation, what I am saying is, the first statement is only human can get metal. So metal will come inside, human will get outside. Then some human who get metal are assertive. Sorry, some human who get metal are people. There are some human, this part, sorry, who get metal are people. Clear about it? Okay, I got it now. 19 is done. 22. 20th, no doubt. 21, no doubt. 17, yeah, Dinesh. Nobody's replied. No paper is crisp. No paper is crisp. Some chips are crisp. Some chips are crisp. All chips are loose. All chips are loose, and some loose are paper. So it will look like this. All chips are loose, and some loose are paper. See this. Some paper is chips. Some paper is chip. Not valid. Some loose is crisp. Some loose is crisp is definitely valid. All loose are chips. All loose are chips. We cannot say. No crisp is chip. No crisp is again wrong. Second answer. Dinesh, it is clear now? (22) Only when politicians experience the real India will it improve faster. It's a logically consistency. So, and the condition is only if. According to only if effect will happen, cause will happen. If cause will not happen, effect will not happen, right? So, this is the cause, and this is the effect. So I can say that if effect will happen, cause will happen. So if what I can say is that India will improve faster when politicians experience the real India. This is the conclusion I can draw. Okay, which is clearly given in the second one. In order to improve real India at faster rate, the politicians should. This part should come earlier. That's what I'm saying. And this part should come in the later statement. Effect give you cause. अतुल सर बोल रहे हैं हिंदी में भी. अतुल, जब भी ओनली वाला या ओनली व्हेन वाला क्वेश्चन आता है तो उसमें इफेक्ट से कॉज मिलता है और इफेक्ट नॉट से कॉज नॉट से इफेक्ट नॉट मिलता है। तो यहाँ पे कॉज क्या है आपका? ओनली व्हेन पॉलिटिशियंस एक्सपीरियंस द रियल इंडिया। इफेक्ट क्या है? विल इट मूव फास्टर, राइट? सो इफेक्ट पहले होना चाहिए, कॉज बाद में होना चाहिए। सो पहले इफेक्ट आएगा, it will improve faster, then we can say politician should experience it. So B is right. A is talking about the efforts. Where it is written about the efforts? Kavita, question does not talk about effort. That's the problem with the A statement, right? Are we clear now? 20 seconds. Third end out. Third, okay. Dinesh says it out. India is still grappling with the fallout of the decade-long, seemingly unstoppable decline of the oil sector, once a driver growth of backflow of the economy. Okay. See, what is the statement saying? The oil sector was the bedrock of the economy earlier for Iran, but from a decade, 10 साल से उसमें डिक्लाइन आ रहा है। That's what he's saying, right? था अभी 10 साल से उसके अंदर डिक्लाइन हो रहा है, कम हो रहा है धीरे धीरे। So which statement talks about this? First, it gives you the decline of the oil sector in Iran is created irreversible problems. ये तो कहीं भी नहीं लिखा गया है। I cannot conclude this कि ये ठीक ही नहीं हो सकता है, ऐसा तो नहीं बोल रहा है वो। B बोल रहा है for a decade Iran has faced decline of its oil sector, which was the basis of its growth and economy. That's the same thing he's talking about. He is saying Iran has struggled with the decline of its oil sector at regular interval. Regular interval कहीं नहीं बोला गया. He is talking about 10 years data only. D is saying the fall of the decade had long decline in the oil sector has completely transformed the Iranian economy is not mentioned again. The only option left is B. I highlighted the problems in the statements, right? Irreversible problem. A cannot be the answer. A is saying कि ये ठीक ही नहीं हो सकता है. आप ये कैसे बोल सकते हो कि ठीक ही नहीं हो सकता है? He is just saying कि 10 साल से कम ही आ रही है. दिनेश, तो सिंपली ये बोल रहा है कि 10 साल से ऑयल सेक्टर गिर रहा है, डिक्लाइन हो रहा है. वो ये प्रॉब्लम ठीक नहीं होगी, ये कैसे कह सकते हैं आप? इरिवर्सिबल का मतलब ठीक नहीं होना. क्लियर? ओके. मनीष, means which is stated in the premise. Logically, conclusion is what is given in the premise, what can be concluded from that. B somehow looks like the restate. Best option is B only. If you see B, it's not exactly conclusion, it's a restatement. But none of the other option is definitely right. I have to choose the best option. The B is the right answer, right? So done with this part now. Now we move to RC and decision making. So I'll just call Abhishek to take RC and decision making, right? Be patient, please.
What will be the Venn diagram? Venn diagram क्या होगा? वो पहले का क्वेश्चन होगा.
इसका Venn diagram दिख रहा है तन्मय उसमें से किस तरह का
Tanmay, for which question you require the Venn diagram? Tanmay, if you are there, please, previous question paper. That's a critical reasoning question, dear. That does not require a Venn diagram. That is just simple statement and analysis of the statement. All right? Okay. Yeah, thanks. So we are now going to start the discussion for the verbal section, that is reading comprehension and whatever has been left by Tarun sir. Okay. So we begin with passage 1. So is there something, any particular doubts with the passage 1, the passage first? Question 3, okay. Question 3 says, consider the following assumption. The government is partially to blame for the crunch that companies have faced in getting funds from within the country, right? And the second says, the government has taken policy decisions that have placed the country as second fastest growing world economy. Okay, I will have to see that which of the following above assumption is or are valid. Okay. So when I'm saying that as we begin the passage, okay, as we begin the passage here, the government is worried that an outflow of Indian companies have expanded at home and abroad during the go-go years of 2008 faced some tough choices. Okay, a big chunk of money they borrowed overseas comes up for redemption over the next 2 years, and with the economic tanking, some of them are finding it tough to pay up. Those that issued blah blah blah. Yes, all of these things are happening. Now, why are these happening? Why? Because the Indian companies expanded at home, right, and abroad. And what did they do? What did they do? A big chunk of money they borrowed overseas. Now it needs to be redeemed. Fine. So who is to blame for this? The first part is the companies. Okay. As we move ahead in the passage, what we see is the government's recent decisions on cutting the diesel subsidy and allowing more foreign investments in retail, insurance, pension and aviation have set the ball rolling. The markets climb further. They would expect that the government delivers on its promise of further liberalization and prudent economic management. So what has happened out here is that whatever the problem was has not been taken care by the government. As we move ahead, it also says that India incorporation deserves a helping hand from government during a lean patch. Companies are starved of credit because government is borrowing too much from the household savings, right? So there is a problem for which there are two parties which are responsible. One is the company itself. Second is the government, right? So now what happens is that, can I say that both are responsible? Yes, both are responsible. It means that one of them is partial. I mean, it means that both of them are partial. So yes, I can definitely say that when it comes to the question, that the government is partially to blame for the crunch that companies have faced in getting funds within the country. Yes, it is. But when I see second, the government has taken policy decisions that have placed the economy. We come to the last part of the question, where it says both monetary and fiscal policy, right, somewhere from here, both monetary and fiscal policy inimical. Inimical means something that is not suitable, okay, to the interest of Indian corporation, which has been spearheading growth in what was till recently world's second fastest growing economy. So there is no mention that the government was there which was responsible for this, right? It was because the private companies were themselves doing it. So therefore, question number 3, I can only be sure about the first part, but the second part I cannot. So my answer accordingly for the third part goes as A, alpha. Okay. Next question. fifth question. Okay. Okay. It says that which of the following options have not been stated as a reason for clemency for Afzal Guru, right? So what are the reasons which are there, which make me say that these are not the. Now for this question there is a problem with this question. That is question number 5, and the question that is asking which of the following options have not been. But the question, if you look at the question and the answer that has been given in the mock, there is a slight dichotomy. Maybe discuss. Okay. If I look at the question, that is question number 5, there is a dichotomy in the answer. So this question number 5 is debatable. We have put this question to be corrected and sensitized. So on this question number 5, I cannot comment. Why? Because the answer that is given according to the question is actually incorrect if I look at the reasons that have been stated. So let's not put ourselves on the question number 5 because it has gone for some correction. Next question, if I am able to get it right, is 7. Atul, Hindi में I am not competent with Hindi. मैं हिंदी में हर चीज explain नहीं कर पाऊंगा. I am so sorry for that. Question 7, there is a doubt. It can be inferred that corporal punishment, right? So I have got a question and it says includes only physical punishment, and mental harassment is a violation of principles of education, and something that says that cannot be determined. Now let's go back to the passage. अगर हम passage में जाते हैं तो फिर मुझे देखना पड़ेगा कि कॉर्पोरल पनिशमेंट पहले है क्या. ठीक है, तो अगर मैं देखता हूं यहाँ पे देयर इज नो स्टैट्यूटरी डेफिनेशन ऑफ कॉर्पोरल पनिशमेंट. यहां से देखिए. ठीक है, द राइट टू एजुकेशन एक्ट 2009, The Right to Education Act 2009 merely states no child shall be subjected to physical punishment or mental harassment. Now, यहाँ पे एक जानने वाली चीज ये है, अगर मैं कह रहा हूं X या Y Z करता है, ठीक है, या फिर X या Y Z को करता है, तो क्या मैं किसी एक के लिए बोल सकता हूं कि X Z या Y Z को करता है? नहीं बोल सकता हूं, क्योंकि यहाँ पे या की स्थिति है. और मैं क्या बोल सकता हूं? सिर्फ यही बोल सकता हूं X शायद Z को कर सकता है या Y शायद Z को कर सकता है. अगर मैं इसको एग्जाम्पल में तब्दील करूं तो कुछ ऐसा होगा, राम या रहीम मार्केट को जाते हैं. ठीक है, तो अगर मैं बोलूं, क्या मैं बोल सकता हूं कि राम मार्केट को जाता है? फिर तो रहीम भी बोलेगा साहब मैं भी तो जा सकता हूं. वैसे वैसा भी सही होगा, मैं बोलूंगा कि राम या रहीम मार्केट जाता है तो रहीम मार्केट जाता है. क्या मैं बोल सकता हूँ राम मार्केट जाएगा, जा रहा है? नहीं बोल सकता हूँ. डेफिनेटली क्या बोल सकता हूँ? मैं एक ही बात बोल सकता हूँ कि राम शायद मार्केट जा रहा होगा या रहीम शायद मार्केट जा रहा होगा. तो यहाँ पे सबसे बड़ी बात जो कॉर्पोरल पनिशमेंट को आरटीए ने डिफाइन करने की कोशिश की है वो सिर्फ ये कर रहा है कि नो चाइल्ड शैल बी सब्जेक्टेड टू फिजिकल पनिशमेंट और मेंटल हैरेसमेंट. इन दोनों में से मैं किसी एक को पिक नहीं कर सकता हूं, सिंपली फॉर द रीजन दैट इट्स एन और स्टेटमेंट. Just a minute, please. Okay, so पहला चला गया, includes only for physical punishment, includes both physical and mental harassment नहीं बोल सकता हूँ क्योंकि वहां पे और इस्तेमाल किया हुआ है. ठीक है, तो और एंड में अंतर होता है. सी कह रहा है इज अ वायलेशन ऑफ प्रिंसिपल ऑफ एजुकेशन, ये कहीं पैराग्राफ में मेंशन नहीं है, तो मेरा आंसर क्या बचता है? कैन नॉट बी डिटरमाइंड. ओके, what is the next question after question number 7? Question number 8 and 10. Okay. फॉलोइंग ऑप्शंस वुड द ऑथर अग्री विथ। ठीक है, तो मुझे ये देखना है इस तरह के क्वेश्चन में क्या करते हैं। एक मिनट, किसी का सवाल है कुछ, जस्ट अ मिनट। दिनेश बोल रहे हैं कि दिस इज द फर्स्ट डिस्कशन आई एम अटेंडिंग, सो प्लीज टेल अबाउट द फुल अप्रोच अबाउट आरसी। दिनेश, आई वुड से दैट दिस इज नॉट अ क्लास ऑफ आरसी, right? So I cannot take an entire class on RC. However, as I go through the questions, whatever concepts I can discuss, I'll be discussing it. Okay? Okay. Yeah, Vivek, I got question number 10 also. So let me deal with 8 first and then I'll move to 10th. Okay. So 8 says, which of the following option would the author agree with? Can I also look at this as a question where it is asking that I have to find one through which the author does not agree? So it means that actually I'm looking for an odd one out. Okay. Now the 8th question says that schools are institution where children are taught moral values. ठीक है, which of the following would the author agree with? तो इसके साथ वो अग्री करेगा क्योंकि ये कहीं पे लिखा हुआ नहीं है पूरे पैसेज में कि स्कूल जो है वो आपको मॉरल वैल्यू पढ़ाते हैं। एक बार देख लीजिए पैसेज को, वो क्या बता रहा है। स्कूल इज अ प्लेस वेयर द ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन ऑफ अ चाइल्ड टेक्स प्लेस, समवेयर हियर। And the grooming of children is joint effort of schools and parents. Also parents are now keenly interested, बहुत एक्सेट्रा बहुत कुछ लिखा हुआ है, लेकिन वो कहीं ये नहीं कह रहा कि स्कूल एक ऐसी जगह है जहाँ पे मॉरल एजुकेशन मुझे प्रोवाइड करती है। तो ऑब्वियस सी बात है कि उसके साथ ऑथर इत्तेफाक नहीं रखेगा। सेकंड कह रहा है प्रिवेंशन ऑफ कॉर्पोरल पनिशमेंट इज फाइनल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ टीचर्स। टीचर के ऊपर फाइनल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है ना या नहीं, ये फिर कहीं पे नहीं लिखा हुआ है। एक ऑप्शन जो आता है सामने वो ये है कि प्रीवियस वाले पेज पे जाएंगे हम। यहां देखिए, द मिनिस्ट्री गाइडलाइंस पुट द ओनस ऑफ प्रिवेंटिंग कॉर्पोरल पनिशमेंट और द हेड्स ऑफ स्कूल्स। सो यानी कि ओनस किसके पास है? हेड्स ऑफ स्कूल का। क्या मैं श्योर हो सकता हूं कि हेड ऑफ स्कूल का मतलब टीचर्स है? नहीं कर सकता हूं, बिकॉज बोथ आर डिफरेंट, दे मे बी डिफरेंट, दे माइट नॉट बी डिफरेंट। तो उस केस में मैं ये जो 8वां का जो ऑप्शन है जो कह रहा है कि प्रिवेंशन ऑफ कॉर्पोरल पनिशमेंट इज द फाइनल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ टीचर्स, ये मैं श्योरिटी के साथ नहीं बोल सकता हूं। तो ब्रावो मतलब जो बी ऑप्शन है वो भी चला गया। चार्ली मतलब जो सी ऑप्शन है वो कह रहा है स्कूल असाइंस द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ चाइल्ड बिहेवियर ऑन हिज और हर पेरेंट्स। ये पार्ट लास्ट पैराग्राफ में डिस्कस की हुई है। और डेल्टा कह रहा है पेरेंट्स आर मेड अवेयर ऑफ वेरियस डेंजर्स देयर चाइल्ड फेस व्हाइल एट स्कूल। डेंजर के बारे में कुछ नहीं कहा गया पैसेज में, सिर्फ इतना कहा गया है कि आपका जो बच्चा है वो क्या क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, विच इज द स्टूडेंट मस्ट स्टिक टू अ प्रॉपर ड्रेस कोड इन स्कूल, प्रोहिबिटेड फ्रॉम यूजिंग सेल फोन इनसाइड इन स्कूल अब्यूजेस, सॉरी स्कूल बसेस, इस तरह की चीजें वो नहीं करेगा। तो कहीं पैसेज में ये नहीं लिखा हुआ कि वो डेंजर है, ठीक है, तो मैं ये नहीं कंस्ट्रू कर सकता हूं कि वो डेंजर की बात कर रहा है। तो इसका मतलब आंसर जो मेरा इस क्वेश्चन का हो रहा है वो हो रहा है सी, यानी कि चार्ली। द स्कूल असाइंस द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ अ चाइल्ड्स बिहेवियर ऑन हिज पेरेंट्स। द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन दैट आई गॉट इज क्वेश्चन नंबर 10। With reference to the above passage, consider the following statement. पहला, fragmentation of forest can be detrimental to the habitat. ठीक है, यहाँ पे ध्यान देने वाला शब्द है can. Fragmentation of forest can be detrimental to the habitat, यानी कि हो भी सकता है, नहीं भी हो सकता है। ओके, मैं क्या करूंगा, मैं पैसेज में चलूंगा। पैसेज में क्या ढूंढूंगा, फ्रैगमेंटेशन की बात कहाँ की गई है। तो फ्रैगमेंटेशन की बात ओपनिंग पैराग्राफ में की गई है और कह रहा है fragmentation of forest often leads to habitat loss as well as species loss. This directly or indirectly affect the functional etc. लिखा हुआ है। अब ध्यान देने वाली बात है फ्रैगमेंटेशन ऑफ फॉरेस्ट ऑफन लीड्स। ऑफन का मतलब ये नहीं होता है कि हमेशा होता है, ऑफन का मतलब होता है कि अक्सर होता है। सो यानी कि मैं इसमें श्योर नहीं हो सकता हूं कि हमेशा होता है, इसका मतलब मैं इसके ऊपर क्या लगाऊंगा, कैन। तो फ्रैगमेंटेशन ऑफ फॉरेस्ट कैन बी डिटरमिनेंटल टू द हैबिटेट। अगर इस ऑप्शन में विल होता तो ये ऑप्शन गलत होता, पहला वाला, क्योंकि मैं श्योरिटी की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं, यहाँ प्रोबेबिलिटी की बात कर रहा हूं, जो कि मेरा पैसेज भी कह रहा है। सेकंड है डिस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ फॉरेस्ट डायरेक्टली इंपैक्ट्स द न्यूट्रिएंट साइकिल। ठीक है, तो मुझे करना क्या है, पूरे पैसेज में देखना है मुझे न्यूट्रिएंट साइकिल कहां पे है और उसके ऊपर क्या असर पड़ रहा है। तो न्यूट्रिएंट साइकिल में ढूंढना स्टार्ट करता हूं तो मुझे कहीं दिखता है ये रहा। इनिशिएशन ऑफ न्यूट्रिएंट साइक्लिंग, उसके बाद है कहाँ पे, फिर नीचे यहाँ पे न्यूट्रिएंट साइक्लिंग, ठीक है। इन सब जगह न्यूट्रिएंट साइक्लिंग है। आगे भी निकल देख लेता हूँ यहाँ न्यूट्रिएंट साइक्लिंग का क्या जिक्र हो रहा है। इट सेज as the cycling of essential nutrients depend upon the soil and litter fall, when forests are destroyed, the vegetation in that particular area is also destroyed that provide an initiation of nutrient cycling, thus hampering the nutrient cycling. ठीक है, क्या कह रहा है? The vegetation in that particular area is also destroyed that provide the initiation of nutrient cycling. और cycling of the essential nutrients depends upon soil and litter fall. ठीक है, तो soil और litter fall दोनों के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है। और मेरा ऑप्शन क्या कह रहा है मुझे? डिस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ फॉरेस्ट डायरेक्टली इंपैक्ट्स द न्यूट्रिएंट साइकिल। तो डायरेक्टली इंपैक्ट तो उसको नहीं कर रहा है वो, ठीक है। सो मेरा आंसर क्या होगा इसका? 10th का अल्फा, यानी कि सिर्फ पहला वाला सही है, 1 वाला सही है। 7th लाइन, मनीष 7th लाइन में क्या है? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, या इट सेज डिस्ट्रॉयड दैट प्रोवाइड द इनिशिएशन ऑफ न्यूट्रिएंट साइकिल। मतलब क्या? व्हेन फॉरेस्ट आर डिस्ट्रॉयड द वेजिटेशन इन दैट पर्टिकुलर एरिया इज आल्सो डिस्ट्रॉयड, ठीक है, दैट प्रोवाइड इनिशिएशन ऑफ न्यूट्रिएंट साइक्लिंग। लेकिन उसके ऊपर वो क्या कह रहा है कि एज अ साइक्लिंग ऑफ एसेंशियल न्यूट्रिएंट्स, यानी कि न्यूट्रिएंट साइक्लिंग डिपेंड्स अपॉन द सॉइल एंड लिटर फॉल, यानी कि वो दो चीजों पे डिपेंड कर रहा है, ठीक है। और मेरा पैरा कह रहा है डिस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ फॉरेस्ट डायरेक्टली इंपैक्ट्स द न्यूट्रिएंट साइक्लिंग। डायरेक्टली इंपैक्ट हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा? अब आप खुद बताओ। Yeah, Dinesh, I was actually trying to say that in English itself, okay, but there were few people who wanted it to be in Hindi, so I was trying my best whatever I could do with Hindi. Okay, so after question number 10, quick 11th, okay. 11th says soil formation is dependent on decomposition of litter fall, ठीक है, okay. And hindrance is a functional aspect of forest. So I have to check that which of these statements are valid. Let's look at the first one. Soil formation is dependent on decomposition of litter fall. So what are the words that I have to look in the passage? Soil formation and decomposition of litter fall. Okay. So let's get back to the passage and look for soil decomposition. Okay, and we come here somewhere which says decomposition of litter fall which produces organic matter is an important factor for soil formation as well as nutrient cycling process. Now the thing out here is decomposition of litter fall which produces an organic matter is an important factor. Now let me ask you all a few questions. If I say every player of the Indian cricket team is an important asset, right? Now, if I say this, can I pick any one particular person and say that whatever happens to the result is responsible for that, or the result is dependent upon you? I cannot say that, right? But why? Because there are others also who are important. Now, if I change this sentence and I say that Sachin Tendulkar is the most important part of the Indian cricket team. Now if I ask that, can I say now that yes, the result is dependent upon Sachin Tendulkar? Can I hold Sachin Tendulkar responsible for it? Why? Because I have said that he is the most important one. A parallel example can be if I say that illiteracy is the most important cause of Naxalism. Now if I were to treat Naxalism, what is that one thing that I'll correct? That is illiteracy. Now if I change it and I say that illiteracy is an important reason for crime, then I know that there are other reasons also which are important. I just cannot say that illiteracy is dependent Naxalism is dependent upon illiteracy, right? So that's the thing out here in the 11th question, which says that soil formation is dependent. It is not dependent. Why? Because the sentence that is given is that soil formation is an important, right? So since it is an important, it is not the most important, so therefore I cannot say that alpha is correct. However, if I look at B, which says hindrance to the nutrient dynamics is a functional aspect of the forest, what do I have to look? Hindrance to nutrient dynamics, okay, and functional aspects. So I have to find these things in the passages. So if I go to the passage, hindrance, Yeah, I find it. It's here someplace. And it talks about this directly or indirectly affect the functional aspect of the forest, that is mainly cause hindrance to nutrient dynamics. Okay, so this directly or indirectly, so no matter what happens, like this or that, it will affect. So one thing I know that it will affect. What will affect? It will affect the functional aspect of the forest. If I have used the word, this word, that is, the moment I have used the word that is, it means nothing but equal. Okay, so what it is saying, that directly or indirectly affects the functional aspect of forest, which is equal to mainly cause hindrance to nutrient dynamics. So bang on, what I see is hindrance to nutrient dynamics is a functional aspect of forest. It means it is correct. So my answer should be B, which is bravo. That is, only the second part is correct, right? Not the first one. Next question, please. Seems that the entire passage is problematic. Okay, let's move to 12th question. And it says, with reference to the above passage, consider the following. Litter fall selectively impacts tree nutrition, growth patterns, and forest production. Okay. And the second says, nutrient content on litter fall may result in improvement of forest management. Now remember, this is something that I would like to share with all of you. In an option, if there is a very extreme option, right, it is never correct. It is seldom correct, I can say. Not never correct, but it is seldom correct. Look at this. It says litter fall selectively impacts tree nutrition. मतलब क्या हो गया? The litter fall will only impact tree nutrition, growth patterns, and forest production. Is it mentioned in the passage? You might be having your physical copies in front of you. Please go through the passage and see that is it written there, litter fall will only affect tree nutrition, growth patterns, and forest production. Well, I'll tell you the answer is no. Okay. And if I look at the second one, it says nutrient content studies on litter fall may result in improvement of forest management. So what is the word that I have to look? The word that I have looked to is improvement of forest management. Okay, and I find forest management. It is somewhere here. Okay. And it says studies on nutrient content on litter fall give functional state of the forest and can be used to improve forest management and production. That's what my option also says, that, sorry, nutrient content studies on litter fall may result in improvement of forest management. So I've got that as the correct one. Someone says, Manish writes, it is written affected by litter fall. Well, let's read it where it is. Fourteenth. 3, 6, 6, 3, 9, 9 plus 3, 12, 12 plus 13, any next passage. Therefore, tree nutrition, growth pattern, and forest production is affected by litter fall. Okay. Now, I will have to read line before also, because therefore it is written. It means that something should have happened before this. Okay. It says, decomposition of litter fall, which produces organic matter, is an important factor for soil formation as well as nutrient cycling processes. Again, the same thing, it is an important part, right? Decomposition of litter fall. Therefore, tree nutrition, growth patterns, and forest production is affected by litter fall. Whereas my question was asking that litter fall selectively impacts tree nutrition, growth patterns, and forest production. Right? We have done. Answer is B. Yeah. 67, 68, 69 now. Uh, well, there is something for a 13 also, so at least let me finish this and then we move 13th. 13 says soil nutrient conditions are an indicator of nutrient use efficiency in litter fall. Now, what does that have to find is efficiency in litter fall. Okay, so soil nutrient conditions are an indicator of nutrient useful efficiency. Excuse me, just a moment. Varun sir, इसके बिना इसको काम पे लगाया चल सकता है काम? Okay. Yeah. Please say yes. I mean, please type yes if I am. Okay. So 13 says soil nutrient conditions are an indicator of nutrient use efficiency. Now the thing that I have to find out is efficiency in litter fall. Okay. So I move back to the passage and look for the word efficiency. Not here. Yeah, and I find it here. It says, however, the index of nutrient use efficiency in litter fall, the word to be noted is can. Can means there is a probable case. Okay. So if there is a probable case, can I say that? Wish they could. Can I say that soil nutrient conditions are an indicator of efficiency? Of course, no. Okay, because we are talking about a probability out there, and this is talking about a definite occurrence. So definitely one goes for a toss. If I look at the second one, which says energy transference from living biological components comprises litter fall. So what do I have to find? In the passage I have to find the word energy transference. So wherever that is, let's try to find out. Yeah, we find it here, and it says nutrients and energy transference from living biological components to the soil is closely related to litter fall and is starting point for nutrient cycling. Okay, so the word to note out here is closely related. Okay, now this is as good as or as bad as saying that dinosaurs are closely related to birds. Now, can I say that dinosaurs are birds? Of course not, right? So, since it is saying closely related, I cannot be definite that this is what it is. So, therefore, if I look at the next option of 13 question, it says energy transference from living biological components comprises litter fall. No, I cannot say it closely related to it. So, therefore, I cannot be definite while I'm saying that it comprises litter fall. So, my answer should be 13th, right? My answer should be D, delta, that is neither 1 or 2. Kavita, I'm so sorry since you missed it. I don't know from where you missed. I cannot go back because I have to move with everyone ahead. Okay, 13th, or we move to Kavita, I've discussed 11, so sorry. 12, 13, 14th. Okay. 14 talks about the constraint on internal fluxes of carbon, nitrogen and phosphorus at ecosystem scale reflect due to constitution of litter fall. Okay, so if this is the question, what I have to find in the passage is the occurrence of carbon, nitrogen and phosphorus. Okay, so let's get back to the passage and look for C and P. It's easy to see that. Yeah, we have it here. Litter fall constitutes a major portion of nutrient cycling between plants and soil, thus reflecting constraints on internal fluxes of C and P at ecosystem scale. Okay, so it's a major portion of nutrient cycling, right? But the question is, the constraint on internal fluxes of C and P ecosystem scale reflect due to constitution of litter fall, right? So it means what I'm trying to say is that there is an internal flux of carbon, nitrogen and phosphorus, and it it reflects due to the constitutional literal fall, which is there. Second says the pattern and rate of nutrient cycling is controlled by availability of nutrients, right? Whereas if I remember the passage correctly, and since you have the physical copies in front of you, you will see that there is also one more factor affecting it, and that is seasonality, right? As they change. So since there is one more factor which is saying that nutrient cycling, there is one more factor other than pattern and rate of nutrient cycling, which is controlled by availability of nutrients. So I cannot be sure for that. So my answer should be 1 only, not 2. So my answer should be A. That is 14th ka hona chahiye A alpha, which is 1 only. Do we still have questions from this passage? There's a 15. Okay, 15 has been discussed. Fine. We move to 68, 60, 67, 68, 69. As Dinesh, you were there, right? Dinesh, if you are still there, please say a yes. I mean, please type a yes. Okay, Dinesh, I think you're not there. Fine. Okay, so next question after 14th. 23rd. Okay. Twenty-third has been done by Mr. Tarun sir. Oh, Dinesh, you're back. Okay, 67. But before that, I have a request for 28 and 30. Since I was calling you to type, you didn't. So let me discuss 30 and then I'll move to 67. Yeah, Dinesh, I'll take 65 also. Okay, question number 28, and it talks about as the new dimension of globalization is an outcome of different macroeconomic management scenario. If I look at the question, if I go back at the passage, what do I have to find? Macroeconomic management scenario, okay? So, and new dimension. So these are the words that I have to look for in the passage. So let's find them. Yeah, I see it here. From the spillover effect of monetary policy choices and other uncertainties in the advanced financial market further impacted exchange rate and made the task of macroeconomic management difficult economic, right? This has brought, now my question is, what is this? This is standing for this particular thing, task of macroeconomic management difficult in many emerging economies. So this has brought out new dimension of globalization, right? So that is task of macroeconomic management has made it difficult in emerging economies, which has brought out a new dimension of globalization. So which is bang on with the first option, which says that the new dimension of globalization is the outcome of a difficult macroeconomic management scenario. So one is done. Let's move to second one, which says monetary policy in a set of countries can potentially affect other countries. Well, it's there in the last paragraph, I suppose, if I remember the passage correctly. No, just a minute. I think I was wrong there. Yeah. If I read below this, where easy monetary policy in one set of countries may result in inflation elsewhere due to cross-border capital flows. So it means that it will may result in inflation elsewhere. So something might happen someplace else. Okay. So in that light, if I look at the second statement, it says the monetary policy in a set of countries can potentially affect other countries. So yes, definitely I can say it can potentially affect other countries. So the answer for this should be both 1 and 2, which is Charlie. So answer should be 28th Charlie. Okay. So I hope that's okay, Kavita. And I now move to 30th. right? Because after 28 I got a request for 30, so let's move to 30, which says, okay, consider the following statement: enter a hub of financial service. Now that is there mentioned in the passage, direct question, which says that advanced economies are a hub of financial services. Okay, and the second is demographics and size of domestic markets are crucial for growth in emerging economies. Now what is it saying is that demographics and size of the domestic market are crucial for growth in emerging economies. So domestic market and emerging economies. So the discussion about that happens somewhere in the last, which says that the last part. Even in the emerging economies, including India, witnessed a slow growth in 2011. Growth prospects of most of these economies remain robust in medium to long term due to various factors such as demographics and size of the domestic market, apart from high rates of investment and savings. So what I'm trying to say is that even if the emerging economies, including India, witness a slow growth prospect of most of these economies remain robust in medium to due to various factors such as demographic, size, and domestic market. Okay, and anywhere else do I have something for this? No. Let's look at the option that I have. Demographic and size of domestic markets are crucial for growth in emerging economies. It is not saying that it is crucial, right? Crucial means imperative, that is important. So it has not been discussed. So my answer should be 30th, just one, that is A, alpha. Dinesh has said 65 before that. So before Kavita, we move to 30 or that. But if it is from the same passage, I will discuss it now. Oh yes, it is 31. With reference to the above passage, consider the following statements. 30 verse says incremental growth is exclusive domain of developing countries. Nowhere it is mentioned in the passage that it is just an exclusive. Remember, I discussed something that whenever you get an extreme option in the passage, it is not the correct answer. Right, so I cannot say it is the exclusive domain of developing countries. Now, if you wish to check this, go to the part and see it. Is second statement extreme in question number 30? Demographic and size of market are crucial. Yes, it is talking about crucial, right? Whereas if it was crucial, it should have said that it is a very important part, or it is the most important part. Then only I can say crucial. So therefore, always try to check it. Right, Tanmoy? Okay. So 31st, we are doing the 31st ka pehla goes for a toss. Second says the monetary policy choices have led to an unpredictable capital flow scenario, which is there discussed in the first part itself. Right? Okay. So in 31st for first option given again. No, Kavita, it nowhere talks about that it is the exclusive domain. The stress is on the word exclusive. Exclusive means something that stands out. So kindly check that, is it saying that it is standing out? Fine. So 31st, my answer goes for Bravo B, which is monetary policy choices have led to an unpredictable capital flow scenario, which is directly lifted from the passage. Okay. 31 ke baad ek aur request आई थी 32 की, so move to 32. Okay. The question is, I think it was about the first idea, first passage ka main idea. Yeah, I remember it. Okay, so it can be inferred that the main idea of the first passage is, okay, अच्छा, जब भी सवाल आता है मेन आइडिया का ऑफ द फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ या मेन आइडिया ऑफ द पैसेज, ये सवाल ऐसे भी आ सकता है कि क्रक्स ऑफ द पैसेज क्या है, जिस्ट ऑफ द पैसेज क्या है, सेंट्रल थीम क्या है, टॉपिक क्या दें, ये सारे के सारे सवाल एक ही जैसे सवाल, एक ही थाली के चट्टे बट्टे. ओके, सो अभी सवाल पूछ रहा है, द क्वेश्चन इज मेन आइडिया ऑफ द फर्स्ट पैसेज विच इज इक्वल टू सेंट्रल थीम ऑफ द फर्स्ट पैसेज, crux of the first passage, gist of the first passage, what can be the suitable title for the first passage, it all is the same. Okay, now let's go to the first part. Now whenever I have to deal with such a question, I will always remember. Now again, I cannot go and discuss the internal intricacies of this particular part. Why? Because this is not a reading comprehension class, this is a test paper discussion. So remember that whenever I solve such a question, I always read the first paragraph and the last paragraph. This is where I guess the central theme or the gist of the paragraph. If I'm told to read about the first paragraph, I'll just read the first few lines of the first paragraph and the last line of the first paragraph. That will give me, I will have to combine both, and then the answer will tell me that what is the main idea of the first paragraph. So let's go to the first para. This is the first para. Let's read the first few lines. It was 2006, no skywalk had been built, and yet skywalks were shaping the reality of the city. यानी कि 2006 था, कोई skywalk बना नहीं था, yet skywalks were shaping the reality of the city. So something that was not there, but still they were shaping up, right? Their imminent arrival shaped how people interpreted streets, their use and potential design intervention, and can transform them. So their imminent arrival means the ideology of skywalks, right? It shaped up how people interpreted streets. Streets को लोग कैसे देखते हैं, उनका काम क्या होता है, पोटेंशियल डिजाइन में अगर मैं चेंज करूं तो कैसे वो उसको ट्रांसफॉर्म कर सकता है. ठीक है, मुझे ये चीज पता चली. तो क्या चीज, एक ऐसी चीज जो है नहीं, जो बनी नहीं है, लेकिन उसके सोच से इतनी सारी चीजें हो रही हैं. ओके, एंड द लास्ट पार्ट, it says this presence is a constitutive element of what might be called the culture of Indian street. Okay, remember again the stress is on the word might. So if I look at might के चक्कर में पहला वाला ऑप्शन, why? Because वो क्या कह रहा है, टू डिस्कस द कल्चर ऑफ द इंडियन स्ट्रीट. नहीं, क्योंकि वो तो प्रोबेबिलिटी की बात कर रहा है, माइट की बात कर रहा है, तो वो तो डिस्कस कर ही नहीं सकता है. और मैंने क्या बोला है कि you have to fuse both the first part and the second part, combine them to get to the answer. So anyways, it is not being discussed in the first part also. Second says to interpret the design sensibilities of urban architect. Dear, out here in this question, there is nothing mentioned of an architect. If at all there is something mentioned, we are talking about architecture. Now, architect and architecture are as distinct as a cricket and cricketer, right? So since cricket and cricketer cannot be equal, right? Likewise, architect and architecture cannot be equal. So Bravo also goes for a toss. Bravo means B option. Let's move to Charlie, which says to highlight the fact that urban dreams continue to add life to the actuality of the streets. If you carefully look at the first part and the second part, you'll get to know that the skywalks were not a reality. They were actually something that was in ideologies. There was something that was in dreams, and it was trying to change the urban landscape, right, from the first part and the second part, which gives me Charlie as the correct answer. If I look at D, Delta, it says to criticize building of skywalks that are now shaping the Mumbai skyline. Nowhere in the first paragraph we have discussed about Mumbai, so Delta cannot be an answer. My answer is 32 ka Charlie, that is C. Yeah, the next question, 34th. And the question is, why, according to the author, is the culturist approach more compelling perspective on the streets? Okay. Now, I will have to go to the culturist approach more compelling. So, मुझे reason ढूंढना है compelling. Okay, so I move to. Yeah, I find it here, and it says the culturist perspective is important because, so it's the reason here, it highlights the specificity of urban experience. However, at times its effect is to rigidify difference, right? So क्यों है? Because it highlights the specificity of urban experience. Let's move to the question 34, right? So if you look at the option, it focuses on particularity of the impression that the city elicits. Alpha says it is most important argument. Oh, alpha is not the correct, right? Bravo, it focuses on particularity of the impression that city elicits. I don't know about it, maybe, may not be. Let's look at C. It highlights the living experience that one gains in urban setup. Is it talking about urban setup? Highlights the living experience that one gains in the urban setup has not been discussed. Delta says it represents the Indian street better than. नहीं, ये चीज नहीं लिखी हुई है. So my answer is B, Bravo. 34 का Bravo है. हाँ, 34 का Bravo है. Okay. The next question is 36. Which of the following has or have not been mentioned by the author as a criticism of right to food campaign? right? If I look at the 36th question, it says experts on food security expend their energies elsewhere and focusing on critical issues like child malnutrition. Now, this is a very common trick that people actually play with you. The question setters play with you. This sentence is correct, right? It is there in the passage. It is very much written out the passage. You might say that this is correct, but remember, the question to ask is this a criticism of the Right to Food campaign? Well, just go back and read it. It is not. It is not a criticism out there, right? It is just a thing which has been mentioned out there. और मेरा सवाल पूछ रहा है which of the following has not been mentioned. It is written out there. One is a correct statement written out there, but still it is not a criticism out there. Just check your question sheet. Okay. So one definitely is not there. So I will have to check 2 and 3. 2 को check करते हैं. It says children suffer from lack of micronutrients and lentils and edible oil, seasonal vegetables, milk and fruit. Now, is this again a criticism for that? No, it is not. Again, it is mentioned out there, but it is not a criticism. So my answer should be 36 ka Charlie, that is C, that is 1 and 2. Guys, please be quick when I ask which question to discuss, because once I move ahead, I cannot go back to the question. Now you are saying 35th, so this is I'm doing it for the final time. Please be quick when I say that. Criticism, can you explain again? What is criticism? Criticism means something that is being criticized. Something that I'm talking about negative. 35th says, according to the author, what is a major failing of debate on food security? So I have to find out what is a major failing. It means that where it has failed, right? What is the main failure of it, right? Pehla, it focuses on commercial and not social aspects of food. It focuses on prices of the commodities and not the commodities themselves. Well, Bravo is not discussed. Charlie, it does not focus on the fact that food is a livelihood option for many. ये भी नहीं discuss किया हुआ है. Major failing देखना मुझे, major failure. It fails to focus on subtle aspects of food production is not again there. If you read it carefully, it says that it focuses on commercial and not social aspects of food. पहला paragraph में towards the first paragraph the answer is there, right? So I think 35th का A, 35th should be A. 35th का answer should be A. 37th. Consider the following assumptions, which of them are valid, right? When our work on food security will be comprehensive only when it is understood that distribution is a major issue. देख लीजिए पैसेज में कहाँ लिखा हुआ है कि इसको हम तभी समझ सकते हैं जब तभी, right? So okay, so why 2 wrong? Okay, 2 says ironically, work on food security leads to the problems of unemployment and malnutrition among the very people it seeks to serve, right? The stress is ironically. चलिए देखते हैं अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट एंड मालन्यूट्रिशन क्या करता है फूड सिक्योरिटी. देखते हैं कहां पे डिस्कस किया हुआ है इसका. This paragraph does not list it, Kavita. It's not discussed even in this part. It's not even here. Last paragraph. Okay. Yeah, it would only result in another lease of life or economic paradigm which addresses the distribution of food. After that, what constitutes food has been reduced to bare bones and then produced in ways that give rise to unemployment, environmental disruption, and food prices for rural poor. Kavita, it's not evident. Recognizing, even if it started from the first part, recognizing that malnutrition is more than merely a calorific food deficit is the point of departure to appreciate that food security requires a far more variegated and concerted effort than a simple policy paradigm for the distribution of bags of cereals. Right? It is not talking about any specificity. We quickly move to 67, 66, 67, 60, 60. Please be quick. 65, you said. Let's move to 65. This 65, these are real easy pickings, right? You need not, I don't know how you have a doubt here, but still, if it's a doubt, I'll try to address it. Okay, the question is, the Grogsvig coffers, right? Kya the? They were inexhaustible, they were a gift from a king, got exhausted when the Baroness was pregnant, got exhausted when needed the most. Okay, I'll have to check what does it stand here for. Okay, so let's go to the passage and let's try to concentrate on Grogsvig offer. Okay, and we have the Grogsvik coffers here, right? The Grogsvik coffers ran low, though the Swilhausen family had looked upon them as inexhaustible. Yani ki Grogsvik offers ran low, it was less, jabki that is despite of the fact that this particular family looked upon them as inexhaustible. So they thought that it will not diminish, it will not exhaust, right? But still it was keeping low. And just when the Baroness was on the point of making a 13th addition to the family pedigree, von Kodelvo discovered that he had no means of replenishing them. Okay? So, अब अगर मैं जाता हूँ उस question पे 65 पे, so 65, Grogsvik coffers were inexhaustible. No, it was thought to be inexhaustible. Were a gift from a king. I don't know anything about it. Got exhausted when the Baroness was pregnant. Oh yes, it has been mentioned that when she was about to add the new entrant to the family and something, right? Is it all right, Dinesh? Dinesh, if you are there, please type yes, or they never mentioned it as exhaustible. Yes, dear, they mentioned they were inexhaustible. It says they were inexhaustible, Grogsvik coffers. Look at the question. It says the Grogsvik coffers ran low, though the Swilhausen family had looked upon them as inexhaustible. So they thought that it was inexhaustible, which is not, only said ran low. Why can't be A? My dear, what was the reality? If Grogsvik coffers ran low, though the Swilhausen family had looked upon them as inexhaustible. Matlab, I'm saying that Tendulkar scored a 60, right? Though the audience expected him to score a century. So the thing, what is the reality? Tendulkar scored a 50, not a century. Right? So the reality is not what the people were expecting, but the reality was what happened. So hua kya? What? The Grogsvik coffers ran low. So how they were inexhaustible? They were thought to be inexhaustible, but they were not. Right? Whereas Charlie says it got exhausted when the Baroness was pregnant. Is it clear, Dinesh, now? Something that is thought to be something cannot be true. Alright, Dinesh? That pause is not helping me. Yes, dear, it was mentioned only ran low. Okay, Dinesh, you got it. Yeah, fine. Thank you. Okay, next question, Dinesh, or shall I move to Kavita, who says 51? Quick. These are easy ones, Dinesh. You should not be in a doubt with these ones. Yeah, Manish, 70, I got it. 68, Tanmoy. Okay, so the least is 51, so let me move to 651 first. Okay. Consider the following assumptions. India lags behind the world on income levels and measures should be taken to improve the employment opportunities. Right? So I'm talking about the 51st question. India lags behind the world on income levels and measures should be taken to improve the employment opportunities. Where do I get that? Let's look at the passage. Okay, Y2 is wrong. Fine, good. The Indian middle class cannot be defined as it is an ever-changing segment and does not fit in with the global standard. So what do I have to see? The definition of Indian middle class. Okay, and the reason. A clear statistical definition of Indian middle class has long been elusive. What does that mean? It means that you have never understood it. Okay, and my option says sorry, which was 51. The Indian middle class cannot be defined as it is an ever-changing segment and does not fit in with the global standards. Now let's look at for the reasons. So part of the problem is that middle segment of India's income range is still poor by global standards, right? Part of the problem. So it's not the complete problem, right? And if I look at the question, it says, the Indian middle class cannot be defined as it is an ever-changing segment and does not fit in with the global standards, right? So it cannot be the reason exactly. It's partly a problem. 68. I'm moving to 68, right? Anything before 68? Quick. 53. Which of the following can be inferred from the given passage? The range at which Indian middle class is defined is still above the standards in the country. No, it is not. It has been compared with the world, right? I cannot comment with the standards in the country. So I'm comparing this Indian middle class with that of the world. Then how can I comment it that it is being compared with the standards in the country? I'm not comparing it with the standards in the country. Yeah, Tanmoy and Kavita, I'm discussing 53rd itself. Okay, so alpha goes for a toss. Bravo says some experts would argue that $4 to $10 range is unreasonable in order to define the Indian middle class. Let's look at the last paragraph. That's where the part is discussed. The $4, no, not here. While these numbers identify a class firmly in the middle of the income distribution of a country like Brazil, the $4 to $10 range is still among the top 30 of Indians. In India, you could argue that the right thresholds are little lower, admits Buzzall, but $4 to $10 is not unreasonable. She says it is not unreasonable, right? Whereas it says is unreasonable. So therefore, I mean, like, Bravo also goes for a toss. So Alpha Bravo go for a toss. I look for Charlie. Charlie says households in the middle class range are always in the danger of falling back into poverty. Remember, the word is always. I will look. To me, it's an extreme option. I'm talking about always. Now, I would request you to go back to the para or to the passage and look. Is it talking that it will always happen? From my side, even without referring to the para, it is no, because it's an always. Now it's your challenge to take that you go to the para. Since you have the sheet in front of you, go and see that is it saying that the middle class range are always in the danger of falling back into poverty. Tanmoy, Kavita. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so it's a no. So Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, none of them work. So my answer should be D. And if I check my answer, the answer should be D. Yeah, Delta. Okay. So Tanmoy, Kavita, 53 discussed. And the next earliest was 68. Right. So I'm moving to 68 now. Yeah. Teacher, 68. Question 68. Again, 69 also, Shekhar Nandal. Okay. Yeah, fine. Okay. I'll just discuss 68 and 69 also. But still, these are easy pickings. You should, as a candidate, you should never get them wrong. These are the easiest they can come to you. Still, 68. Okay. 68 talks that Peter was what happened. Peter had a twin brother. Peter lived in Mrs. Henne Falcon's. Peter woke up and watched his brother. Yeah, none of those. Let's get back to the passage. Yeah, okay. So since it's a very chotu one, so let's go through it. Peter Morton woke up with a start to face the first light. Rain tapped against the glass. It was January the 5th. He looked across the table on which a night light had guttered into a pool of water at the other bed. Right. So there was another bed out there. Francis was still asleep, and Peter lay down again with his eyes on his brother. So what does it mean? That he had a brother. It amused him to imagine it was himself whom he watched. The same hair, the same eyes, the same lips, and the line of cheek. But the thought palled, and the mind went back to the fact which lent the day importance, blah, 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 whatever happens, right? So what is happening? Peter is looking at Francis, who is his brother, and he's saying that, the passage reads that it amused him to imagine it was himself. Yani wo jise dekh raha tha, wo khud tha. which the same hair, the same eyes, the same line of cheek, it means that Francis, कहाँ चला गया? 68, yeah. It means that Peter had Peter woke up and watched his brother. Peter had a twin brother. Well, I cannot say that Peter had a twin brother. Woke up and watched his brother. I can only be sure about that. Peter woke up and watched his brother. That was what he was watching. Twin, I cannot say by the following all these reasons, right? Rain has been mentioned in the first passage. Yeah, so how does it matter, Shekhar, if rain has been mentioned in the first passage? That has got nothing to do with Peter, what Peter was. So the thing is that Peter woke up and watched his brother. Now, since he was having identical features, does not mean that he was a twin. It has nowhere been mentioned out there, right? So my answer is that Peter woke up and watched his brother. 69th. Okay, see it clear. I'm moving to 69 now. That's fairly easy, Shekhar. It is saying that January the 5th, right? What will the answer? You tell me. Well, let's get back to the passage still. It is from the lines that we left after that, right? But the thought paused and the mind went back to the fact which lent the day importance. Which lent the day importance, right? That is my question. Lent the day the importance. It was the 5th of January. So what was that important? It was 5th of January. He could hardly believe a year had passed since Mrs. Henne Falcon had given her last children's party, right? Her last children's party. Okay. Now, 69th phase. January the 5th was what? Was the birthday of Peter? How can you say that? Was the birthday of Peter? It could be anyone. It could be Francis. It is also not mentioned that. Okay. Dear, if you see that it's a stormy day, it is nowhere mentioned that it was a stormy day. Peter Morton woke up with a start to face the first light. Rain tapped against the glasses. It was January the 5th. So where is it mentioned that it was a stormy day? Right? So it goes for rain tapping does not mean there's a storm, Shekhar. Storm means Aandhi Tufan, right? So there might be rain without Aandhi Tufan also, na? So इसका मतलब ये हो गया कि अगर आपके शीशे खिड़की पे बारिश के छींटे पड़ रहे हैं तो बाहर आंधी तूफान आई, ये कोई जरूरी नहीं ना. Fine, you got it. Okay. Tarun sir, please explain question 73. Question 73. Well, this is not Tarun sir this side. This is Abhishek this side, right? But however, I'll move to 73. But before that, there was something else. 69 कर लिया हमने. Anything else? No worries, Ashok. Yeah. 69 के बाद कुछ? 72. Fine. So after 72, we'll take up 73 also, Ashok. Okay, which of the following statement is or are correct according to the passage? Right. Now, realizing one's potential can lead one to success in life. ये आपके सोच का फितूर है, ऐसा कुछ लिखा हुआ नहीं है, फिर भी हम देख लेते हैं. एक बार देख ले क्या आप कह रहा है. Realizing one's potential can lead one to success in life. Right. Yeah, it says we despair thinking that nothing good can possibly come from us. We neglect to water the good within us and eventually it dies. We never realize our potential. So ये क्या कह रहा है, हम अपनी जो अच्छाइयां हैं उनके ऊपर ध्यान नहीं देते हैं, उनको बढ़ाते नहीं है. We don't water them, right? We don't do anything good with them and eventually it dies. We never realize our potential. हम जो बन सकते थे वो हम नहीं बनते. ठीक है. अब क्या ये जो बन सकना था, क्या ये है कि वो हम अच्छे बनने की बात कर रहे थे? Realizing one's potential can lead to one to success in life. Where is that success in life coming from? Has it been discussed in the passage? Well, my answer is no. It depends upon you. How do you look at it? There is nothing like that discussed out there, right? So if I look at 72, the first one goes for a toss. Second says, sometimes people fail to clearly understand their own capacity. Yes, that is written out there, right? At times, so which means sometimes. So my answer should be 72 ka B. 72 B. Yeah, bravo. 2 only. Right. With that, we move to 73. Okay. 8 items, each is on a situation. Okay. So this is decision making we're talking about. Okay. Okay, fine. This is decision making. Remember, in a decision making question, your duty comes first. There are certain basic concepts in decision making, and one of those concepts is that as a person, your duty will come first. Then anything will come. Your emotions will never come first. Even if you have to consider an emotion, it would be the other people's emotion which has to be taken care of, not yours. Okay. The other part is, at times, the one answer that you have to choose might not be the best one, but still you will have to choose one option, right? Because, so it's not a matter of saying that kaun sa galat hai, kaun sa sahi hai. It is about which one is a better suitable answer, which one is a suitable answer as per you. Also remember that UPSC tries to see you as what kind of a person you are basis these decision making questions. Such questions are also asked in many B schools wherein where they come as a part of psychometric tests. Okay, so it's sort of a psychometric test where there is nothing like a correct answer or an incorrect answer. The thing is that you have to be as close as to the ideal candidate that the UPSC envisages. Keeping in mind that your duty will come first, emotions have not to be taken care of. Also remembering that out of the 4 options, there might be none of the correct. There would be none of those options which would be suitable. But still you have to find an option which is most suitable amongst them. Okay, so if I look at 73rd. It says you are a district magistrate. It has come to your notice that poor people are using the land meant for agriculture for bird farming, which is prohibited in the area. Now, this is something that is one problem they have done. There is something that is prohibited. They are doing it. So one, there can be an action taken against. However, this is a lucrative occupation, and as compared to a normal agriculture activity, the grain spread for the birds in the farms attracts stray birds in the area. So grain के चलते क्या होता है, चिड़ियां आ जा रही हैं और वो क्या कर रही है, प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट कर रही है एयरफोर्स के लिए, ठीक है, इन द एरिया एंड मे रिजल्ट इन एक्सीडेंट. सो क्या होगा, अब यहाँ पे दूसरा क्या होगा, एयरफोर्स के साथ एक तो बहुत ही सेंसिटिव एस्टैब्लिशमेंट है, ठीक है, एयरफोर्स, और वहां पे हो सकता है जान माल का नुकसान हो, ठीक है. तो आप क्या करोगे ऐसे में, याद रखिएगा आप एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट मजिस्ट्रेट है, ठीक है, यानी कि आपके पास कुछ करने की क्षमता है, पावर है. इफ आई लुक एट द ऑप्शन, फर्स्ट लेट देम कंटिन्यू विद द बर्ड फार्मिंग, नो यू विल नॉट, ठीक है, इवन इफ दे आर पुअर, बट द थिंग इज दैट पुअर के चलते आप देश का जान माल का नुकसान नहीं करेंगे, प्लस दे आर डूइंग समथिंग दैट इज प्रोहिबिटेड. सो कल के डेट में डीडीए की जमीन पे जाकर के कोई घर बना लेगा, बोलेगा कि मैं तो गरीब हूं साहब, मुझे काम करने दो, तो दैट इज इलीगल, राइट. सो अल्फा गोज फॉर अ टॉस. ब्रावो की बात कर रहे हैं, सेंड अ टीम ऑफ ऑफिशियल्स एंड पुलिसमैन टू इमीडिएटली स्टॉप द बर्ड फार्मिंग एज इट इज प्रोहिबिटेड. बिल्कुल करेंगे आप, क्योंकि भाई वो काम नहीं करना है, दैट इज प्रोहिबिटेड. हाउ कैन यू गो एंड डू इट, राइट. चार्ली says address those practicing bird farming, informing them that and tell them to relocate if they wish to continue with the enterprise, right. So ये भी एक सही ऑप्शन है जो आप कर सकते हैं. थर्ड डी, डेल्टा कह रहा है एयरफोर्स टू, अब साहब आप डिस्ट्रिक्ट मजिस्ट्रेट कहीं के भी हो, लेकिन आप एयरफोर्स को तो नहीं बोलेंगे अपना बेस शिफ्ट करने के लिए. सो मेरा आंसर क्या बचता है, बी और सी, ब्रावो और चार्ली. अब इसमें अगर मुझे प्रेसिडेंस देने की बात की जाएगी तो मैं पहले ब्रावो को बोलूंगा, क्यों, क्योंकि जब तक आप जाकर एड्रेस करोगे बर्ड फार्मिंग को, इन्फॉर्म करोगे, उनको बताओगे कि जाके रिलोकेट करो इफ दे विश टू कंटिन्यू विद द एंटरप्राइज, तो तब तक क्या हो जाएगा, आप दो काम कर रहे हो. एक, यू आर डिलेइंग द डिसीजन, उस बीच कोई एक्सीडेंट हो सकता है. दूसरा क्या कह रहे हैं आप उनको, इफ दे विश टू कंटिन्यू विद एंटरप्राइज, उनको करना है तो जाके करो. तो सबसे पहले तो उन्होंने वो काम किया जो प्रोहिबिटेड था, उसकी सजा मिलनी चाहिए, ठीक है. सो देयरफॉर if I were to take a precedence, any particular option has to take a precedence, it would be Bravo first and Charlie next. Anything else beyond 73? Why not B? Dear, Bravo is a correct answer. I'm not saying that Bravo is not correct. Bravo is correct. In fact, Bravo should be your first answer. Yeah, you have marked C, but the thing is that UPSC will choose one, so thereby CL might have chosen one of these answers though. But there are two answers for this question. and which is Bravo also and Charlie also. Yeah, you mark C because मैंने जो बताया अशोक की आप चार्ली में वो गलती जो उन्होंने की उसकी सजा नहीं दे रहे हो, जब तक आप उनको जाके समझाओगे तब तक क्या हो जाएगा, हो सकता है क्रैश हो जाए, तो देयर इज अ प्रोबेबिलिटी, राइट, इसीलिए चार्ली में आपको 0 मिल गया. 74th, okay, 74th, you're a judge at a high court. A case related to gang rape has come to your court, and nationwide protests and outrage on this issue are mounting pressure on you that the accused be given a death sentence in light of the heinous crime that they have committed. You will. तो सबसे पहले तो साहब आप जज बन गए हाई कोर्ट के, और क्या हो रहा है, गैंग रेप का केस है और नेशन पूरे कंट्री में प्रोटेस्ट चल रहा है और प्रेशर बनाया जा रहा है ऑन यू दैट द अक्यूज्ड बी गिवन डेथ सेंटेंस. तो देखो सबसे पहले तो बात आपकी ड्यूटी पहले आएगी. ड्यूटी, अगर कोई दोषी है तो वो तब तक दोषी नहीं होगा जब तक उसको कोर्ट साबित नहीं करती है. यहाँ पे कैंगरू कोर्ट तो चल नहीं रहा है कि पीपल प्रेशराइज एंड देन यू विल अकॉर्डिंगली टेक अ डिसीजन. इट नेवर हैपेंस, राइट. इट्स अ कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ, right, where the law will prevail, not what people's sentiments are. Okay. Alpha, immediately award a death sentence to the accused even without hearing the case. Now this is the most ridiculous answer that anyone can think of. If I look at Bravo, Bravo says award the death sentence to the accused after a proper hearing of the case. Now the thing is that आपने decision पहले ले लिया कि आपको award death sentence करना है after the hearing. तो how is that a proper hearing? जब आपने पहले ही सोच लिया है कि उसको death sentence देना है प्रॉपर हियरिंग के बाद, तो प्रॉपर हियरिंग के बाद डेथ सेंटेंस हो सकता है, प्रॉपर हियरिंग के बाद पता चला वो कसूरवार नहीं है, फिर क्या करोगे? सो ब्रावो इज नॉट एन ऑप्शन. लेट्स लुक एट चार्ली. हियर द केस इन टोटलिटी एंड टेक अ डिसीजन एज पर द प्रोविजंस ऑफ द लॉ. ये सही है, ठीक है, कि आपको केस को सुनिए और टेक अ डिसीजन एज पर द प्रोविजंस ऑफ द लॉ. डेल्टा सेज assure the nation that the victim will get justice as per the law of the. I'm coming at C. Wait Ashok, wait, hold on, ठीक है. Assure the nation that the victim will get justice as per the law of land. Now, look, what was the concern that you were having? The concern was that there is a mounting pressure that people are trying to exert, right? So, Charlie, it's not that Charlie is incorrect, but the thing is that first, in both Charlie and Delta, right, justice is being served, right? Ashok, yes or no? In both Charlie and Delta, justice is being served. Ashok, say yes. Okay, good. Okay. However, in Delta, you are also addressing the problem that the problem posed to you, that the question posed. The question was posing that people are protesting against. So you should also assuage them that okay, assure the nation, because nation is on the uprising. So we'll assure them कि जो भी होगा law के हिसाब से हो. So therefore, Delta is a complete answer than Charlie. However, that does not mean that Charlie is incorrect, right? So Charlie and Delta would be correct answers. However, preference wise, your answer should be first, which should be D, Delta. Yeah, judge never assures anyone. Correct, Shekhar. But remember, if you have followed the newspaper recently, Altamas Kabir had also to come out and say that let law takes its own course, and this happened 15 days back when Altamas Kabir had to make a statement out there. At times, Attorney General also has to make a statement out there, right? And this is that has happened. Therefore, he never comes in media and assures. Then how was that? But the case were never. Matlab, in the Supreme Court, you're a judge at a high court. Yeah, I'm talking about if a Supreme Court judge can come out, why can't a high court judge come out? When it is a concern of national importance. Yes, I was telling about the recent incident, Dinesh. The issue is not who comes and speaks. The issue is they can come and speak. If there is, if there is a concern that yes, this is something that is affecting the nation, you can see there are nationwide protests, right? And people are pressurizing you. So therefore, you will come out and you'll actually assure the nation that the victim will get justice as per the law of the land. So justice will be upheld, right? But that should be said to the citizen. Yeah, for C, they will not. They look to the questions. Kavita, Dinesh, and whosoever is discussing this question. My concern is that look, what UPSC is discussing, what UPSC is thinking, I cannot comment on that, right? Because these are the questions on which the view is made by the person who sets the question. Okay, so I can only try to come as close as what UPSC expects from an ideal candidate. Right. So therefore, we cannot sit here and say that we'll look, because my main concern is not clearing the CL examination. My main concern is clearing the UPSC examination. So my imperative out here is that you should be able to make an answer, mark an answer, which is the best suitable answer amongst all. Right. Question number 75. Okay. You are one of the members of a public service commission. चलिए साहब, आपको selection का वो बना दिया. Why not D? Okay, 75th का आप बोल रहे हैं. Why not D? Lodge a formal complaint against in the appropriate. या ये तो आंसर है ही 75th का. एक मिनट, मुझे आंसर चेक करने दीजिए 75th का. 75th का D तो है ही आंसर अशोक. Lodge a formal complaint against this in the appropriate agency. Okay, why not A? Approach the governor of the state apprising of the whole issue and action against the chairman. So आप कर रहे हो, आप ये जरा ध्यान से दीजिए कि आप 70 की बात कर रहे हैं, right? आपके पास क्या था? You are one of the members of Public Service Commission. The chairman of the commission has taken one of the members aboard and illegally selected candidates who are children of some influential people. This selection does not have the approval of other members of the commission. आप क्या करोगे? ठीक है. पहला, approach the governor of the state apprising of the whole issue and ask him to take action against the chairman. Now there is something called in a leadership position, Ashok, there is always something called proactiveness, right? कि आप खुद से क्या करते हो? Approaching the governor of the state apprising of the whole issue and ask him to take action against the chairman is correct. I'm not saying it is wrong. But if I have an option which says that lodge a formal complaint against this in appropriate agency, तो जो भी agency कर रही है वहां पे जाकर के आप एक formal complaint lodge करोगे, ठीक है? How do I know that इसके ऊपर governor ही फैसला ले सकता है? It might be, might not be. Therefore, if I compare alpha and delta, delta takes a precedence where it is saying, delta is saying lodge a formal complaint against this in the appropriate agency. तो मुझे ये decide करना है which one is an appropriate agency, whatsoever it is, I'll go and lodge a complaint against. Next precedence would be approach the governor of the state apprising him of the whole issue and ask him to take action against the chairman. Therefore, as I see it, 80th. 78. If option A is not, I think, weak willpower. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't understand SMS lingo. So, if you could elaborate it and write, I will be in a better position to understand. I'm bad with this kind of English. If A is not, then I think it is poor will. I think a poor willpower. Yeah, okay, power. Poor willpower. So poor. Okay, if A, then poor. Okay. So willpower is a word which comes together, right? Will and power are not alag. They are not different. Okay. So willpower. It shows poor willpower. Which one? A. हम कौन सा कर रहे थे? 70. Yeah, 76th. No. I think I goofed up the 25th. Yeah, this one, 74th, right? 74th. If you say immediately, नहीं, ये भी नहीं है. हम कौन सा कर रहे थे? 70. 5th. Yeah. Approach the governor of the state apprising of the whole issue, and it's correct out there, right? It is showing that you are not a proactive person. You cannot do it something on yourself. So I found it, I go and make a complaint in the appropriate agency. Okay, 75th के बाद कौन सा 80. Okay, 78. Okay, Tanmoy, 78. 78. You are a newly appointed manager at a public sector bank. The branch where you are posted has an unusually large number of loan defaulters. As a result, the branch has been facing heavy losses for a long time. You are expected to revive the situation. आपको situation को अशोक आप क्या बोल रहे हो सर? Please clear. If your senior going to wrong or unconstitutional, then why I can oppose? You're not opposing Ashok. Even if you're going to be governor, you're not opposing. You're also lodging a complaint there. You're not opposing. To the governor as you go, you're actually complaining out there. So rather than complaining, why not go to a particular agency which takes care of it? So let's say that for example, if CAG does it, I don't know whether it does or not, but let's say that XYZ agency does it. So I'll go to XYZ agency and file a complaint rather than going and cribbing about it to the governor. Okay. 78. You are a newly appointed manager of public blah blah blah. You are expected to revise this. Okay. Okay. Yeah, fine. Thanks. Why not C in question number 78? Why not C? Okay, fine. Let's look at 78. Why not C? Analyze all the case and then work on an appropriate strategy. Fine. Okay. It's not wrong as if Delta says get inputs from your subord 78 की बात कर रहे हैं, right? Get inputs from your subordinates about the problem and use them to solve this problem, right? Analyze all the case and then work out an appropriate plan. Remember that you are new at this place, right? You are a newly appointed. Stress on the question is you are a newly appointed manager. So it means that if you start analyzing all the case and then work out an appropriate strategy, that will take some time. I'm not saying that it is incorrect, but if I look at Delta, it says that get inputs from the subordinates about the problem and use them. So since you are new, right, you will definitely look for help from people who are your subordinates because they were working there before you, right? So therefore, Delta comes first and Charlie comes next. Okay, Tanmoy. We move to 80, right? 80. And the 80th is the last question, and it is, you are an official in the district education department who oversees the proper function of schools in every respect. Now the part to be taken care of here is every respect, right? It means that kuch bhi hoga, you are taking care of it, right? It means you have got enough sufficient power. You have received a complaint about an employee of a school that the school authorities are involved in wrongful practices with regards to the compensation of the employees. So there has been some problem going on with the compensation given to the employees. The law clearly states that the school employees are to be paid the salary as per the rules of the state government. You will. So one, there is a direct violation of the laws which was mentioned. State law का violation है वहाँ पे. Okay. अब आप क्या करोगे? पहला, raid the school as a part of investigation and confiscate the books of the account of the social administration for audit. बिल्कुल कर सकते हैं आप क्योंकि आपके पास हर तरह की फंक्शनिंग करने का आपके पास पावर है, right? Alpha is there. Let's look at Bravo. Ask the complainant to lodge an FIR against the school authorities and let the law take its course, right? And third, tell the complainant to bring hard evidence to the बेकार है Charlie. Immediately approach the school manager and discuss the situation with whom off the record. आप off the record discuss नहीं करेंगे. Complain अगर आपके पास personally आके कोई एक official complain कर रहा है, तो how can you discuss that complaint off the record? So Delta goes for a toss, Charlie goes for a toss. My fight is between Bravo and Alpha, right? अब साहब Alpha में आप capturing the school as part of the investigation and confiscate the books of account of the school administration. If I compare this with B, Bravo, ask the complainant to lodge an FIR against the school authorities and let the law take its course, right? If I will have to rate, why not C option? C कह रहा है tell the complainant to, अब देखो फिर ये हो गया कि अगर आप कोई भी complain करेगा, ठीक है, complain करेगा तो आप उसको क्या बोलोगे? Evidence लेके आओ, hard evidence against the school authorities in order to register a complaint in your office. तो फिर ये क्या हो गया, यानी इसके बाद कोई भी कंप्लेन आएगा, फिर कंप्लेन करने के लिए उसके पास एक हर चीज के पास एक एविडेंस होना चाहिए. तो इस तरह से हर बार हर कोई आपको कंप्लेन नहीं कर पाएगा ना. क्योंकि हर कंप्लेंट के लिए एविडेंस, जैसे कि आपको एक कंप्लेंट दिया कि मुझे लेट्स से मुझे मेरे ऊपर क्या बोलूं मैं, मेरे ऊपर कैन टेक एनी प्रॉब्लम इन ऑफिस, कि मेरे पास मेरे ऑफिस में ये प्रॉब्लम हो रही है मेरे साथ, ठीक है। लेट्स से दैट लोग मुझे मेरे 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 क्या बोलूं मैं, मेरे कलर के चलते लोग मुझे ऑफिस में परेशान करते हैं, ठीक है। नाउ इफ आई मेक अ कंप्लेंट टू माय सीनियर, मैं इस बेसिस पे कहां से एविडेंस लेके आऊंगा? लोग कहेंगे नहीं मैं नहीं करता हूं, राइट। सो इट मीन्स दैट आई विल हैव टू एक्सेप्ट द कंप्लेंट फर्स्ट, right? As a superior, I'll accept the complaint and then initiate my own inquiry into it. Okay, okay. So Bravo और Delta में फिर क्या कर रहा हूँ, ask the complainant to lodge an FIR। अब ये FIR लॉन्च करेगा और लॉ जो अपना काम है वो करेगी। उसके बाद वाला ऑप्शन मैं रखूंगा कि मैं खुद से रेड करूँ स्कूल को एज अ पार्ट ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन और कॉन्फिस्केट करूँ मैं उन सब चीजों को, ठीक है। So therefore Bravo takes at precedence over Alpha. Can you please explain question 22 just once? Okay. Ashok, Delta, since there is a confusion at times in hearing between B and D, so therefore in the language of army, A for Alpha, B for Bravo, C for Charlie, D for Delta, E for Eagle, F for Foxtrot, इस तरह से चलता है। So therefore I am discussing Delta, Delta, okay, D for Delhi भी बोल सकते हैं। Okay, since I hope Ashok that's clear. Since we have finished 80 questions, so I'm not going back, but since this is one last request which has come for question number 22 from Shekhar, let me move to question number 22 for one final time, and after that we'll call it a day. This question was explained by Tarun sir. Yeah, Ashok, thank you so much. Have a great night. This question was explained by Tarun sir earlier. Yeah, it's over to Tarun sir, guys. It's good night from my side.
Then I will give you the email ID of both people, right? 22nd, see, when there are two types of statements, right? If I say, hold on. There are two types of statements. One is if when we have if type of statement, okay. So whenever there is a cause, there will be an effect, and the reverse of that will be if effect will not happen. That means cause will not happen. This is the condition for it. And when we have only if condition, then effect will happen leads to cause will happen and the negation of that. So what is the cause here? Only when politician experience the real NDR, this is the cause. Will it improve faster? This is the effect. So first this should happen, and that gives you a result of politician should experience it. Clear? This is very much clear in the B option. A talks about real India will improve faster through the efforts of the politicians. Efforts की बात नहीं की गई है. Clear now? 22nd. किसने पूछा भाई? शेखर. Chalo, done. Yeah, I'll just write the email ID. Tarun Malik, CARER LAUNCHR, कैसे लिख रहा है ये .com, and Abhishek these are email IDs. Okay, thank you very much. Please close the event.